Yeah.
other old buddies that you were able to reconnect with in WWF, the Road Warriors, like we mentioned earlier. You grew up with them. What is it like hearing the Road Warrior pop when you were in WWF?
Well, I heard it when I was with Ivan. Me and Ivan wrestled the Road Warriors down in Crockett's territory,
Yeah.
and they were over big there. And we were, the heels, the Russians against the USA's team. I
Yeah.
mean, that was the biggest pop I ever heard. When we were when we were up in the WWF, we got the pops too. And when we went against those guys, the fans up there liked us more than them. And because now you got an outside team coming up there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was hard for it was kind of hard for them coming in, and we had an angle with them right away because we were both over. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the big pop like you would think it would be, and the matches weren't very
It
good
was like
either.
even. Yeah.
They were tough matches, and they were great guys, but they were tough matches to have because the office wanted them over and kind of wanted to turn us heels again, but the people weren't after it. You know what I mean? It was a tough situation.
Wow. Were you able, since you grew up with Hawk and Animal, was there that type of chemistry there? Maybe like outside of the ring more than inside of it?
Yeah, yeah. It was, but it was different in Charlotte with Ivan and myself
Mhm.
because we were established heels
Right.
and they were established baby faces. In the WWF, we were both kind of baby faces, but they were actually kind of heels, you
Yeah.
know, and they wanted them to be baby faces, and that's what made it kind of tough. But you know, we got along great, and we had the best matches we could. You know, we would do anything for them; they'd do anything for us. So it was tough. And sometimes you just have those matches.
Yeah. I love that you do have a positive outlook, though. It seems on most of your career with all these guys you're saying, like you would do anything for them, though. Which,
Oh, I would. In fact, I don't believe I've ever hurt anybody in the ring,
mhm.
but I have so many injuries because I'm protecting everybody, and that's how
Yeah.
most of the wrestlers are. When you see the guys limping and barely walking and their backs are bad, usually it's because they've protected their opponent. So they're taking the blunt of the bump instead of giving it to the guys, if that makes sense.
Uh,
You know?
yeah. Very selfless
Yeah.
in the ring and making sure the best match comes out of it.
Well, yeah, when I was trained, it was you take care of your opponent more than you do yourself. That's how I learned. You
Okay.
never hurt your opponent, but you make it look like you're killing them. And then your opponent, when you hit him, he sells so much that it makes it look like you tore his head off, but you really didn't tear his head off.
Yeah.
And that's how I was taught. And that's how the Road Warriors were taught. The Road Warriors were a little stiffer though than everybody, and that's they were told to do that. So they would actually kind of apologize ahead of time and say, hey, we got to be a little stiff, and then
My
you'd say,
God.
well, we're gonna be stiff back with you. You know what I mean? So you'd have a stiff match, and and some people love that. They wanted you to be stiff to them. We didn't like to be real stiff with them, and we weren't real stiff with a lot of people. We were just kind of we wanted people when they hit you, you wanted to feel it,
Yeah.
but never get hurt. And that's how we wanted to work with everybody. We hit you, you felt it, so you knew you better sell it, but it
Yeah.
wasn't to hurt you.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.